Lewis Hamilton's time at Ferrari might be running out. And Oliver Bearman is the reason why. The 21-year-old British driver has been exceptional in his first full Formula One season. He outscored teammate Esteban Ocon at Haas in 2025, despite being a rookie. And he's continued that momentum into 2026 with 17 points after 4 rounds, sitting 8th in the Drivers' Championship. Now, former Formula One driver David Coulthard is warning Ferrari that they cannot miss the opportunity to promote Bearman at the right time, and he's making it clear who will have to make way. "I'm assuming it will be Lewis that's the one that will eventually step down," Coulthard said on the Up to Speed podcast. Lewis, not Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion who joined Ferrari with dreams of winning an 8th title. The 41-year-old legend whose Ferrari career has been anything but legendary so far. Bearman is a Ferrari driver academy product currently building his reputation at Haas, Ferrari's customer team and technical partner. And Ferrari has a decision to make: promote Bearman when he's ready or risk losing him to a rival team. He's a phenomenal racing driver. Ferrari have got a star on their hands, former Formula One analyst Will Buxton said. The question isn't will they promote him, it's when. When, not if. And that timeline might arrive sooner than Lewis Hamilton would like. Let's talk about why Bearman is forcing Ferrari's hand, why Hamilton is vulnerable, and whether the 7-time world champion's Ferrari dream is about to end early. If you want to stay updated on Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari future, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This decision could reshape Formula One. Oliver Bearman has been on Ferrari's radar since 2021 when he joined the Ferrari Driver Academy. The pathway was clear: develop at Haas, prove yourself, eventually graduate to the main team when a seat opens. But timing is everything in Formula One, and David Coulthard believes Ferrari cannot afford to wait too long. They don't want to miss that opportunity, Coulthard warned, and that's one of the pressures they have with Lewis. The pressure with Lewis. That's a diplomatic way of saying Hamilton's age and performance make him the obvious candidate to replace. Hamilton is 41 years old. He joined Ferrari in 2025 with a multi-year contract running at least through the end of 2026. But contracts can be negotiated, retirements can be announced, and teams can make changes if the circumstances demand it. When a star is ascending, you've got to catch that wave, Coulthard explained. And if they stay too long, not being challenged, everything changes. Catch the wave, that's the crucial phrase. Bearman is ascending. He's 21 years old and outperforming expectations. If Ferrari waits too long to promote him, they risk missing his peak development window. Or worse, they risk losing him entirely. If they wait too long and he believes he's ready for that chance, what's going to stop somebody else from swooping in and stealing him, whether that's a Red Bull, a Mercedes, a McLaren, or whoever? Will Buxton warned. You don't want to let a talent like Ollie go. Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren. All 3 teams would absolutely take Bearman if Ferrari hesitates. Red Bull needs a long-term partner for whoever replaces Max Verstappen. Mercedes is looking beyond Kimi Antonelli and George Russell. McLaren always needs young talent in the pipeline. If Ferrari doesn't act, someone else will. And once a Ferrari Academy driver leaves for a rival team, they're almost never coming back. So Ferrari has 2 options: promote Bearman when he's ready, or watch him drive for a competitor for the next 15 years. The question is when Bearman will be ready, and more importantly, which Ferrari driver makes way for him. Charles Leclerc is not an option. He's been with Ferrari since 2019. He's Ferrari's franchise driver and their long-term investment. Moving him would be unthinkable. His manager Nicolas Tot spoke last year about Ferrari needing to provide Leclerc with a winning car. That's not a threat. That's a reminder that Leclerc has options if Ferrari doesn't deliver. But it also confirms that Leclerc isn't going anywhere voluntarily. Leclerc's contract duration is unclear publicly, but he's signed through at least 2029. Ferrari has invested years developing him. They're not giving up on that investment for Bearman, which leaves Lewis Hamilton. His first season with the Scuderia was, to put it mildly, harrowing. The car wasn't competitive. He struggled to adapt, and critics questioned whether he still had what it takes. Then 2026 arrived. The SF26 is better. Hamilton scored his first Ferrari podium in China and immediately hit back at his critics. He argued that he still has what it takes to compete at the front as he continues pursuing that record 8th title. Hamilton has returned in 2026 in a better place, both mentally and in terms of performance, after that harrowing first season with Ferrari, reports noted. Better. Not great. Better than terrible is still not championship winning. And here's the problem for Hamilton. Ferrari hasn't challenged for victories in 2026. The SF26 picks up regular podiums, but it's not a race-winning car. Miami signaled a potential performance setback versus rivals. Hamilton is 41 years old, driving a car that can't win races. How long does Ferrari wait for him to deliver that 8th title before they decide it's time to move on? David Coulthard believes the pressure is already building. There's a big difference in pressure when you're at Haas and overperforming than if you're at Ferrari and you're half a tenth slower than your teammate, Coulthard said. Everything changes. Half a tenth slower than your teammate. Is Hamilton slower than Leclerc? The statistics would need verification, but the implication is clear. If Hamilton can't match Leclerc, Ferrari has no reason to keep him over a 21-year-old rising star. Getting that moment to bring him into the spotlight, the real spotlight, and the real spotlight is way, way hotter than any of these guys in the mid-grid can really believe, Coulthard added. The real spotlight. That's what Behrman needs to experience, and Hamilton is the one blocking that opportunity. Ferrari has some big decisions to make, as Will Buxton put it. But the decision tree is actually quite simple. Option 1. Keep Hamilton through 2026 and hope he wins the championship. If he doesn't, promote Behrman for 2027 when Hamilton's contract expires or can be renegotiated. Option 2. Promote Behrman mid-contract by convincing Hamilton to retire or moving him aside. Risky, controversial, but protects Behrman from being poached. Option 3. Wait too long, lose Behrman to a rival, and regret it for the next decade. Ferrari cannot afford option 3, which means Hamilton's future depends entirely on whether Ferrari believes he can still deliver a championship. Right now, the evidence isn't compelling. Hamilton is in a better place than 2025, but better than terrible isn't championship form. Behrman, meanwhile, is 8th in the championship with 17 points after 4 rounds. He's outperforming his Haas teammate. He's proving he belongs. And he's doing it at 21 years old with his entire career ahead of him. The contrast is brutal. A legend in decline versus a star ascending. Experience versus potential. The past versus the future. Ferrari has built its legacy on both honouring legends and embracing the future. They gave Michael Schumacher years to rebuild the team into a dynasty, but they also moved on from him when the time came. They gave Kimi Raikkonen a championship-winning car. Then they replaced him with Fernando Alonso when a better option appeared. They gave Sebastian Vettel 4 years to win a title. When he couldn't deliver, they signed Charles Leclerc and made it clear who the future was. Now they have Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion chasing history. And they have Oliver Behrman, a 21-year-old Ferrari Academy graduate who might be the next big thing. David Coulthard believes Ferrari will choose Behrman when Hamilton's current deal expires, mid-season if results don't improve, or later if Hamilton somehow finds championship form. And every race that Hamilton fails to challenge for victories brings that moment closer. Lewis Hamilton joined Ferrari to win an 8th world championship, to cement his legacy as the greatest of all time, to prove he could succeed outside Mercedes. But Oliver Behrman is 21 years old, performing brilliantly and creating pressure Ferrari cannot ignore. Scuderia has a star on their hands, as Buxton said, and they cannot afford to let that star escape because they waited too long to promote him. Hamilton's Ferrari dream is on borrowed time, and Oliver Behrman is the reason why.